Hey, how y'all doing? This is MongoSlade, and today we're going to talk about something that I always end up talking about a little bit too much: race. So, former WWE Women's World Champion Jazz says that she was concerned about the way black women are their opportunities in the WWE. So let's read. This is going to be from Wrestling Inc., where it is. Jazz questions if black female stars are receiving "quote unquote" fair chances in WWE. This is from this is going to be the transcript from an interview that she did. I'm just going to read this part because this is the kind of the pertinent part. She says, "I just don't think they're given a fair chance," Jazz said. "Naomi, I believe she deserves to be treated better. Sasha, right now, she's kind of been taken care of in a sense. But there's a few more, Bianca, I think she can kick everybody's ass on the main roster. Will she ever get the opportunity? Will they ever give her the opportunity? I don't know." So that's interesting, but I think that there's always going to be this insecurity when it comes to race issues in wrestling. That no matter how successful, the most successful female wrestler in WWE right now, outside of Charlotte and Becky Lynch, is Sasha Banks, and she's black. And, when you say that kind of alone defeats the argument that there's a race issue. But then you'll have people who will come along with their, but her skin's not that dark, or she's mixed, or blah, blah, blah. And this is like 100 other things that for some reason you have to be the color of charcoal and come from the middle of the deepest, darkest African jungle in order to defeat the argument that the company is fucking racist. It's like there's no way to disprove the argument. Like if they're promoting a black woman as the star of the company, then they cannot be racist. That's stupid. But they'll try to find some way. I mean, it's just when you have your heart set on that argument that you want to make it, you just don't have any other argument to make. You would just have to make it. But let's go through a quick analysis of the 4 top black women in WWE. Like I just said, Sasha Banks is a star, without question. Naomi is, I've done 2 or 3 videos on Naomi already. If you want to know what I think of Naomi, please go through the playlist of listening to me talk about Naomi. But the too long didn't read version of my argument on Naomi is good personality, good person, good personality, good character. I like her entrance, theme music, all that type of stuff. But she needs work on her ring psychology, and she needs work on her promos. And her promos are really, really weak. And her ring psychology is also not that good. She's not really a good storyteller in the ring. That's one thing Sasha Banks does very well. Sasha Banks is really good at storytelling. Now, Bianca Belair. Now, Bianca Belair is very green. Now, what I mean by that, what we mean by green is obviously she's not that experienced. Bianca Belair is a natural athlete, but she is not a natural wrestler. Wrestling is a different thing from what Bianca Belair is used to doing. She's a track athlete, and she does bodybuilding. She's the GOAT when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like you see, like Bianca Belair at the Combine and stuff like that. She's a monster. But and they have done a good job of protecting her. Bianca Belair has only lost to like women's champions. Like she doesn't go out there and do like random jobs. They've been doing a decent job of either she's not on TV at all, or when she is on TV, she's winning. And that's kind of it, like that. And occasionally, in NXT, they used her as not as a stepping stool to put other people over, but they had her in the mix, where she was wrestling the champion or a top contender for the title or something like that. They never went fully with giving her the title, which kind of, NXT was just in a situation where for some reason they just would not do it. It never really seemed to fit anyway, because Shayna Baszler was dominant and kind of needed to be the champion, and I think that was great. I think it would have been good for Bianca Belair to beat Shayna Baszler for the title, but it just didn't seem to work, and it seemed to make more sense for it to be Rhea Ripley. And then after Rhea Ripley, of course, they went to Charlotte, which of course was stupid. So it's easy to be like, well, Bianca Belair got screwed. Well, she did. She absolutely did get screwed in NXT. But since she's been on the main roster, she hasn't been treated like shit at all. She's won every match she's been on TV. when she is on TV. And like I said, they protecting her. If she's not going to be, she's not doing nothing angles. She's not out there floundering. They say, hey, we got something for her to do. She goes out there, she wins. And if she had nothing to do, she goes to do vignettes or something like that. We're just trying to get her some reps in. But I do think that Bianca Belair is going to be a star. I think that when they get her ring work together, get her in the ring with a series of matches with people who really know what they're doing, a Charlotte, an Asuka, somebody like that, and let her get some reps in with somebody who's really good, and she's going to be good. It's just going to take time. It's an investment. A lot of people think that you're supposed to just plant a tree, water it, sunlight, and then it grows tomorrow. It's like, no, you have to take time. Bianca Belair appeared on the screen, she appeared on the scene really in like 2018. So she has only been around for like 2 or 3 years. It hasn't been that long. So let her grow. And then the only other prominent black female wrestler is Ember Moon, who, if you watched NXT, oh boy. Oh, look, Ember Moon is athletic. She's passionate, but she has almost no personality, and she cannot talk, so she's perfect for NXT because she works a crowd pleasing style, but they've tried pushing Ember Moon too. Ember Moon actually spent some time as a jobber, of course, because they kind of gave up on her. But when she got the big push against Bayley, I believe it was in 2019, before she got injured, the crowd died during that match. Nobody was over. Like Ember Moon, they told the story of Ember Moon, finally coming home to Texas and all this type of stuff, or something like that. Coming home to Houston or something. I think that's where the show was, or it was some story where they tried to humanize Ember Moon and nobody cared. Like, it was always like Ember Moon is more over now, having fought back from that injury, than she ever was before. And she was a star in NXT before. So really, what they moved her to NXT because that audience is really into Ember Moon, because she does, the Eclipse, and she does like a lot of high flying stuff. So, okay, I like Ember Moon too. I don't dislike Ember Moon, but I see the weaknesses in her game. And I think that obviously nobody's going to be perfect, but when you can't talk, you can't be the top of the promotion. You can't do it. Like, you have to be overwhelmingly physical. Like when you say that, people are like, what about Brock? It's like, look at Brock and then look at the other people that you're talking about. And like, the only person that you can completely compare him to is Bobby Lashley. There's no other reason for you to even say anybody. Like, if I say he can't cut a promo, and you'd be like, well, what about Brock? And I'd be like, well, what about Dolph? Shit. Dolph can talk, Dolph can work, Dolph can shoot. And it doesn't do him any good. But there was something else that Jazz said I thought was interesting. Now, this was in 2018. And so Jazz said this after she I think she did another interview or whatever. But this is along the same lines. She says, this is from Ringside News. She says, I don't think they know how to market to African Americans. I was a champion and I've never had an action figure. They did the screening and the scanning and said my action figure is in high demand and I never saw it. So she's questioning whether WWE knows how to market to black people. Which kind of asks the question, what is it special about black people that, that how do you market to white people? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. And then I Googled it and I did find that Jazz's action figure did come out. It came out in 2007. She had a Jax Pacific action figure. But it is said to be quite rare. There's also, there's of course a Naomi action figure. But the Jazz action figure actually did come out. So maybe she just didn't see it, but it actually did come out. And some people took pictures of it. But, this whole race thing is based off of course, of that insecurity. That never being too sure of your position due to perceptions about race. And, it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it is. I mean, it's hard to say that black women don't get the same opportunities. Jazz herself is a former women's champion. Jacqueline is on the Hall of Fame and a former women's champion. Karma, aka Awesome Kong, she wasn't around long enough, but she was being positioned as a really top female wrestler in WWE. Uh, then you have all the other non-white female wrestlers that have been champions, like Nia Jax, and so it happens, and I think that they just have this permanent insecurity, and I really don't see where it comes from, but I can understand that it's so few black women on the roster that you kind of get the idea that, oh, the only reason there's not that many is because of more racism. And it's like, well, there could be hundreds of other reasons. It could be a lack of interest. There are some black female wrestlers, but are they trying to get into WWE? I know WWE has some black female trainees, and then one of them got released during the pandemic, and that was MJ Jenkins. I didn't really see much of her, but I remember seeing her. She's kind of she stands out for a reason that I can't remember right now. But let me know if you guys think that black women are getting the shaft in WWE or have been, and explain yourself. And thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you guys later.